Hello everyone. Welcome among us. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. Alright, so, for those of you returning, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us. For those of you who are new, welcome among us. It's also a pleasure to have you with us. For those who might be wondering what this is because they didn't intentionally click on this channel or because they just were bored, this is about Dungeons and Dragons and a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So this is not, if this is not what you want to watch, well, we're not changing our schedule, so you change. And I think that's everything that needs to be said before we start. I know there's not much. We don't have any sponsors. I didn't have anyone new on Patreon. I'm still not to my 50 followers, so there's really not much to say thanks to anyone. Except those who are there watching. Thank you for being there.
For viewers like you, thank you.
For everyone else, F you.
Hey, my DM's in the chat.
Hey, hello. All right. So, let's start this right away. Last episode. Well, not much happened last episode, with the exception of someone being buried by bad comments. The party finally got up from this all mess at the mine, mostly satisfied, but not completely, of everything they'd done. They spent the night sleeping. Some got dreams. Some good, some weird, some not. They all got up. They decided to make their way to the cart downstairs where everyone was waiting. And unfortunately, something was said, which wasn't very considerate for one party member.
Criminals shouldn't be considered equals.
Which our Kenku kept repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. This had the strange effect of reshuffling the friendship in the group. Some who weren't liked became liked. Some who were liked became unliked. Some just felt a lot of satisfaction.
Scaly bastard.
But all in all, our poor Kenku, who received this devastating comment, was well received and loved by everyone in the group, with the exception of Anvara, who felt guilty, but was replaced by a horse who also felt pity for the poor Kenku, and decided to joining the group hug to comfort Remy. After a moment, the party gathered whatever was left to gather, and they went back on the road, which was pretty uneventful, with the exception of an Anvara mostly insisting on punishing herself, and Valtteri mostly insisting on preventing her from punishing herself. A bit of an odd situation to look at, since Valtteri didn't say anything with this. It felt a bit like watching parents take stuff out of their children's hands and just saying no and not explaining to them why. After a few hours, they eventually all settled down. They reached the next village. Next town, sorry. And as devastating as the day had been morally for some of them, they were quickly faced with the reality that the world keeps on going and nothing happened in the village. They all rested, and the next day, they just kept on going. with a bit of rain. Toward the end of the day, they did encounter something a bit odd. Creatures in the distance, but they decided not to interfere with what they were doing, as they were identified by Fisher as probably being something you don't necessarily want to mess with. The group decided to leave it at that, and they kept on going. They traveled for a few more hours and decided to make the camp there, but unfortunately, no one has a tent, and the cart doesn't actually have anything covering it. So, and they've been using blankets to cover the odorific carcass of the Umber Hulk they've been hauling around. So, not a good idea, all in all, to sleep in there, unless you want to wake up with the same smell around you. They eventually found a tree, and Anvara, Audience, and Fisher, I think, decided to... No, Anvara, Audience, I think, decided to sleep under the tree. Remy in the tree. Valtteri, I believe, said wanted to sleep under the cart. Unless I'm mistaken, I know someone said they wanted to sleep under the cart.
I can't remember if it was by the tree or under the cart.
I'm pretty sure about that he suggested, at the very least, suggested sleeping under the cart.
I know that
whether she did it depends.
I can remember. Let's just say I slept under the cart to make it easier.
I don't know, you could have changed your mind a few minutes after when you realized that you'd be sleeping covered from the rain, but head first in the mud. So
I still have my bedroll, but sure, I'll sleep by the tree.
Alright, and so Fisher and the horse slept under the rain as they were unaffected by this. And they can't catch a cold, because you have to be able to inhale to catch a cold, and Fisher doesn't breathe. And the horse is just used to it. So, the night came and went, and when you all wake up in the morning, you are... Good Lord. I was gonna say you wake up in a damp morning, but actually you wake up
to the roar of a white dragon. No.
No, but it's actually very, very, very similar to the previous day. So apparently it rained throughout the night. So eventually the tree lost its efficiency at covering you from the rain. And because it started to... because there was such a strong wind, well, no matter what, when you wake up in the morning, you are very damp, very wet. But the rain has mostly subsided to the level of a very, very, very gentle drizzle. But it is still very windy, and I'd like Anvara, Audience, Valtteri, and Remy to make a Constitution saving throw.
17.
Should remember to get the D20 again. It's 16.
Valtteri? You're muted.
5, I rolled a 2.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm already regretting using the UTP.
Audience?
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Well, it's not so surprising. You're a paladin. I don't think you have your immunity to disease yet, but you're almost there, so it's not that surprising.
I also have scales. I don't know, that might change with being wet. Water-wise.
Anvara, you said you rolled?
17.
17. All right. Well, in that case, when you all wake up, you all feel the dampness got into your clothes, and you can't help but when you raise your arm, especially those who have a shirt, you hear. When you get up, you feel the slush around, and it rained all night. Valtteri,
Yeah.
don't worry, audience can help you, I'm sure of it. Hold on, I have the condition here. I had to restart my computer, and everything that had been placed at the right place isn't placed at the right place anymore. So... Alright. So for now, you mostly feel a bit congested. You wake up and you feel that little tickle on the back of your throat. You know that this could develop poorly. It's usually how small colds start. But for now, it's just that. And it could remain that.
Question.
Yes.
Would it make sense to use destroy water to at least make our clothes dry? Or drier?
Well, if you want to use a spell slot for that, you can always... Let me see... No, you can't. You absolutely... It has to be inside a container. So you could undress, and...
That would be even more awkward than... Okay.
Alright, and I also forgot to tell you what you had in your cart, actually. The cart, there's the carcass, but there's also a single barrel and a chest. Usually, for travelers, the barrel will usually be used to put water in. A barrel can hold 40 gallons of water. So, basically, it's enough water for one person to last 40 days. Providing you can keep the water from getting spoiled by whatever could happen. And in chests, usually traveler will put provisions in, rations and things like that, so you don't have to carry them. But it is a small chest, you don't have to put provision in it. You can also put whatever else. A lot of times, a tarp will be placed in there, but there is nothing in there, and the barrel is empty. Unless you left it open before the rain. In that case, there is a little bit of rain at the bottom of it. Alright. So, Anvara, audience, Valtteri, Remy, and Fisher, what do you do as you wake up from this damp morning?
Shivering.
Remy jumps down from the tree, like just realizing how soaked his clothes are. But then suddenly a breeze picks up, and the moisture starts wicking off of his feathers. It's just like, okay, this will work itself out.
And you also realize that, well, it's fairly warm outside, so the wind isn't too cold, but the combination of waking up soaked and being in the wind, oh, it's gonna dry itself out. Oh, good lord. It's gonna be a bit cold before it's completely dry, though. Alright.
He'll say, like, good morning, men!
Good morning.
You all ready to go?
Everyone is still groggy from waking up.
Audience just kind of stretch out a bit, ready for anything. Let's head on our way.
All right.
Sounds good enough.
It's, yeah.
Is it a cloudy light drizzle or a sunny light drizzle?
Oh no, it's let's say a very pale gray cover. So it's almost no break in the cloud cover. Maybe every few minutes you sort of see a place where it's where it becomes thinner and you can almost see the light peering through it, but it doesn't last and it goes away.
That Remy's just going to hop into the front seat.
Where audience was last episode. So, do you keep on the same order? Audience at the rain, Fisher, Anvara, and Valtteri in the back? Or
I'm happy to keep driving the cart. No one else wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I'll be just sitting in the back, hugging myself, trying to somehow get warm.
Do I have a spell that could like shake off her cold?
Well,
Would it resist it?
I think
Get away
there's...
with using only a cantrip?
No, there's nothing with the cantrip that would help you.
Can I use mending on my throat?
I think lesser restoration.
There's lesser
is what you're looking
restoration,
for.
but I think there is...
It's a fucking level 2 though.
I keep mixing the names for spells from different edition. Because of that, sometimes it makes it hard for me to find them. But I think there's one to specifically target disease.
Yeah, no, I have that lesser restoration.
I mean,
There's lesser
I
restoration, but...
Disease.
I
Um,
think the one for disease I actually could have.
Cure wound, detect magic, detect poison and disease.
And lesser restoration does it.
Oh no,
That's-
it was just
yeah,
detect
yeah.
poison and disease.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's lesser
There's one that
restoration.
just does poison. I don't think there's one that just does disease.
No, I only have detect poison and disease, not
Yeah,
cure.
that's right. It's cure poison, not cure disease. All right.
Yeah.
I think
Alright.
it's a third.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Let's not let this cold
Who knows, maybe
medieval times.
Maybe your
develop.
natural immune system will help you.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah,
I
no.
can help her. I just don't know she's sick.
well, for now, all she's doing that would let this be apparent, unless she says something, is maybe once in a while you can hear her do. But you have such a normal passive perception that Anvara might pick it up, Remy also, but not so much for you. Especially since she's not right beside you.
Okay,
Right.
Druid.
A druid who's mostly living in the woods. Having a terrible immune system.
Yeah, that's kind of fucky. You'd
Well-
think
Yeah.
at least resistant.
It's because there's a lot of things. In the woods, she could probably do a nature check and find plants, which could help her make a tea, which would most likely be very efficient. But unfortunately, in the middle of the continent like this, between the mountains and the forest, it's mostly plains and hills. So there's not a lot of interesting herbs you can find there.
Just my character not used being on another island.
Yeah, that's true. The island from which you come is mostly trees. So
Yeah. So all the stress and stuff, my body can't handle it.
if there's ever someone from Wizard of the Coast who comes by, especially those making dungeons and the books about Dungeons and Dragons, one thing that is, I think, really missing from Dungeons and Dragons right now is the druidic ability to brew magical things with plants, which I'm making a feat for, but there is a lack of an official one.
The most
Just
they
get
most they really
the
get is
herbalism
proficiency
kit.
with herbalism kit.
Yeah, but in past edition,
What-
there was, especially in second edition, with the Book of Druids, there was a very large variety of druidic brew that you can do, that you could do. So, and I think it was interesting with the fact that druids, plants, spend most of their time in nature. But yeah. So for now, yes, if you did probably medicine or nature, well, actually medicine to nature to find them and medicine to make it, you could probably manage to build something. But like I said, right now it's mostly hills and plains, so it's not very abundant with.
Even have proficiency in both nature and medicine.
Well, in that case, you did come by here before. No, there's really nothing. There's nothing that would help you make this easy. I'd say you could, but you'd have to ask everyone to stop for a while you go gathering plants in a place where the variety of plants is very low.
Isn't really
Compared
worth
to a
it.
forest, of course.
Probably wouldn't even be worth it. I'd wait if we maybe get into a more tree area.
All right. So you keep on going. There is. You'll spend another night outside, and then there's a town on the way. Unless you want something specific to do while this is going on, maybe you want to stop to look for plants. Maybe you want to talk among one another. There might be something that you want to clarify or talk about. If there is not, it's just plain travel. So, with the exception of rolling for encounters, there's not much that I need to be doing. So this could go
if we
faster.
would make one more break where we'd have another night of sleep, then I would check for
Yes.
plants.
Right now, you'll have another day sleeping under the stars, and then you will find yourself in a town. So
Then I would use that one more night before going to sleep to find something.
all right.
And I think you said it was the middle of the next day that they would be by the river.
Yes, it would be noon during that day, and I am watching right now. So during that day, where did my tables go? Too many windows open. I'm losing myself. All right. So yeah. All right. The day goes by fairly uneventful. Toward noon, the rain stops a bit before. So, fortunately, you do not have to spend the entire day walking under the rain. And the weather will clear itself up a bit. The wind will not, unfortunately, become lesser. It is still a very strong wind. But even the temperature will get more into the average of the day. So as you make your way to the midday, where you stop for a while, there is a river, you can refill water, take a moment to enjoy a very delicious goodberry. But
Raimi is going to strip himself naked and get into the river.
So,
and begin to scrub the dirt and grime that had accumulated while they were in the mines.
And that a bit of it also got washed away by nearly 10 hours of rain.
It's to get the deep stuff.
The thing that smells, it's
because his feathers are still technically like moisture wicking, so it's like you kind of have to like dig it in there.
Take it from someone who did walk for 3 months without stop. The smell, you really need a bath to remove the smell. Rain won't do it.
Yeah, so you'll hear Raimi weirdly whistling a merry tune as he is finally bathing himself in this river.
And so you all are previewed to this strange little show with the Kenku seeing the bridge and seeing the river under it, and oh goodness, stripping down, running toward the water that passes under the bridge and starts bathing in this shallow river. Singing, well, whistling.
Question.
Yes, it does feel like watching a crow bathe. No. What was your question?
Because I remember the orb we had back then in the garden to kind of wash ourselves. Did we all took that with us, or did we have to
No.
keep it there? Okay.
You can take it with you, but it doesn't function outside of the garden.
Okay.
And if you ever happen to notice like audience looking his way, he might do it a bit more sensually.
Audience, I
Play-
think audience. No,
Play the
you-
sexy shower music.
I'd say audience, because of the proposition that Remy did the night before, do you want to make a perception roll? If you would not be paying attention to this, I will use your passive perception.
I would not be paying attention.
And you do not notice Remy suddenly taking more time washing himself, especially in certain areas. When your glances cross his general direction. But Anvara, with your passive perception, you most likely end up noticing that Remy slows down in a few moments, and it does coincide with audience distractingly while looking in his direction, and then just looking away, watching the cloud. Every time, whenever his gaze goes toward Remy, suddenly he takes more time, especially around some specific area of his body.
Does Raimi know the phrase, mind doing my back for me?
I don't know.
Actually, believe it or not, he would, considering.
Oh,
It's very-
Christ.
Audience, make sure it doesn't drop the soap.
But if he's nowhere near, he wouldn't ask. But,
All right. So,
Oh,
Yeah,
watch
during this,
Yeah.
I would approach audience and be like, so at some point we should probably have a chat, all of us, about what the fuck we're doing, because that shit with the dark elf, I guess you could say, brought to light some deep-seated conflicts of interest within our little group here. And if we're all going to keep working together, I think we're going to need to hash some things out.
I'll nod. I'll say, perhaps you're right. It's not good for comrades at arms to have, any feelings but that of love and respect for each other. So perhaps that is wise.
I mean, sure, I was more thinking the boat doesn't go anywhere if everybody's doing their own thing, but love and yeah, okay.
I think we're losing a player. Are you all right?
Hang on, I only got one bite left. We're done after this.
Yeah, I noticed.
That is not one bite. Jesus Christ.
Oh, just one more
Yeah.
bite.
You usually go to an OnlyFans for that kind of content. But I mean,
Just hope no one clips that.
Oh, don't worry. If we have a good enough viewer base, they will.
I'm sure if my GM is still watching, she'll clip it and put it everywhere in our Discord. All right,
Just
ask
taking
them.
a
Ask
gif
them
out of
just
it.
to-
Anyway, Raimi finishes his bath and like gets himself redressed and bounds over toward the chatting audience and Fisher.
All right.
Do you have a good bath?
Like he nods and like you hear coming out of his mouth the that sound that happens like when something is being polished. It's like
It's sort of rubber rubbing against rubber.
Mhm.
The shower wasn't good enough that you had the past couple days.
his eyes sink and just shakes it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta dig deeper, Raimi.
I don't know, audience, you think this is a good enough time?
perhaps we should finish our travel and just do it once we're back.
Okay, sounds fair. Everybody ready to go?
Cocks his head, clearly having missed a conversation.
Anvara and Valtteri, what were you doing while Remy was taking a bath and Audience and Fisher were talking to one another?
Depending on what Valtteri was doing, I'll like if you don't have if you weren't doing anything in particular, I guess I was talking to Valtteri. Well, I was going.
Did you have anything very important to do while Remy was bathing?
I was just gonna say sitting awkwardly on the cart and drawing plants and animals that we have seen or passing by, but if you want to
Then
talk-
apparently, Anvara, as you approach Valtteri, you notice she is drawing silently.
coughing sometimes.
I will say I'll talk to her in a calm tone as to not give her heart palpitations. That's really nice.
Thanks. You notice that she's kind of lightly not getting nervous.
Would you rather I leave you alone?
I mean, if you want to talk, we can talk.
We
Okay.
can talk about the weather some more.
Anvara, make an insight rolls. Insight rolls for
Insight.
me, please.
Insight. With a +5 again, 11.
All right. You have the impression that, and mixed with everything that happened recently, Anvara, Valtteri might have a bit of a fear of people.
Oh, I don't think I needed a check for that.
I think that has already been established in the group.
Well, Aiden knows, but Anvara might not have.
Well, I mean, I have tried to talk with Valtteri a couple times before, and she was reluctant to speaking in like I tried to talk to her and just like, so yeah, that exactly the weather shit. Like, nice weather, right? Like, yeah, weather. Just like, all right, you don't want to talk, Gucci. I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna
All
go
right.
offend someone.
All right, that's good.
All right. Well, anyways, did I mess up?
What do you mean?
Because I know what I said was hurtful to Raimi, but I want to apologize, but I can't apologize for for what I actually think. I feel bad for hurting him, but I don't feel bad about the way I am. That's the issue I'm currently having right now.
I think that maybe the best way, if you are feeling reluctant to apologize, is talk with him, to be honest.
You know how good I am at understanding when he talks to me.
True, but I mean, we are a group, so we should try to get a better communication with each other.
I won't lie, I've considered leaving you guys during the night. I thought pretty hard about it. Guilt affects long-lived creatures a bit differently than those who only see one century in their lifetime. Grief and remorse is something that is very present for a long time, relatively speaking, if I were to put into perspective. Do you think I want to apologize, but I still think that those who transgress laws are scum. I'm saying this at like not super loud, obviously, because Raimi has like I think the same passive perception as me.
Passive perception. Well, you are pretty sure it's close to you. Maybe even better.
Oh shit.
You feel confident right now because you hear in the background.
Slows down. You think he might have heard you, but then you just remembered he's looking at audience's direction.
You look back and you see him wash very slowly, so you know that his attention was somewhere else.
You know,
Well,
maybe a gift would do the trick. Just to say I'm sorry without having to explain that I'm not going to apologize for the way I think.
I guess that might work. You could also think differently, because it kind of feels that Remy isn't that kind of person anymore. How I see it, I don't know him that well, but he didn't seem like a criminal to me so far I've seen from him.
Me neither. If I'd have known, I wouldn't have said that in his presence. Like
Cut to a few days ago, picking his way off with the treasure full of stuff.
Well, how should we know? So maybe it's just something that was in his past.
Well, if it's something he no longer associates himself with, why would he have taken so much offense?
Maybe because it was a big part of him back then. A lot of emotions.
Alright, well, once he stops trying to seduce the Dragonborn, I'll try that, I guess.
But maybe something shiny probably works for him.
Something shiny. Alright.
It was already hard to get it with good terms to him again after accidentally scaring him, so...
Alright. Thanks for the words of wisdom. And I'll get up and, Well, would I have noticed that she's sick from the coughing?
I would probably have coughed in between talking. So.
Yeah. Make a separate insight roll for this. Are you proficient in medicine?
Yes, I am.
Then in that case, I will allow you to make a insight with advantage.
Okay, and all right, so a 19 and an 18.
All right. In that case, yes. You think she is probably starting something minor, like a cold.
All right. Since we're hitting Italian not too long, I'll just put my hand on her shoulder lightly as I get up. You're a good friend, and you will feel the cold. Your throat just start to regain.
Close up.
Yeah. Grab around the neck and use inflict wounds.
You're such a good friend.
Remove all evidence. Kill her.
It's right there.
You fucking infernal born.
You're
So,
sick.
yeah.
You make me sick every time I look at you.
Your existence is a curse. All right, and you just got lesser restoration. Your throat is now okay. You won't die from a medieval cough.
Question: would I notice that Anvara used the spell on me?
Lesser restoration. Lesser restoration.
I do believe it has a vocal component, so.
Yeah, if you don't want her to notice, you'd have to make it a stealthily. If not, then she most likely would recognize the spell.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to hide it.
All right, so
You're a good friend. Whatever words I need to say.
it's vocal and signs. So you made probably a small prayer. It has to be within 6 seconds. So there was probably blessed be na and made maybe a quick sign from one hand. Valtteri,
True, I need to not use it vocally. Right. Forgot about that.
well, a lot of spells can be used within a single turn, which means that whatever you're doing, you have to take into consideration that it doesn't take 6 seconds of talking to cast a spell, because you also need to be able to move. So most spell, the vocal component lasts 2 or 3 seconds. So it's really just a very small prayer, something like "Blessed be in the name of your deity," and a quick sign from one hand.
Blessed be Anarnazil. May he cure this wayward traveler on her journey.
Yeah, that works well.
There we go.
All right, from now on, I want you to always say this.
You now have a taste of Buckley's running through your mouth.
Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub.
All right. All right, so you feel your throat clearing up. Ooh, minty. And everything feels normal again.
Thank you.
Your nose even cleared.
I can smell again.
Yes, you can smell again. You're right beside the carcass. Oh, give me back the disease.
It's nice to see that you see me as a friend.
I politely nod. Thank you.
I'm not back. And get back to drawing.
All right. All right, so Remy gets back clean, happier than he was a few 10 minutes, maybe 15 ago. And after, like I said, enjoying a very delicious goodberry, you keep on going. And the day is pretty uneventful. The sky mostly clears, and you find yourself moving at a normal pace, but always with this slushy sounds of footstep because, well, face it, Anvara, Valtteri, and Fisher, at least one of you most likely is walking beside the cart because there is a huge carcass from a Umber Hulk taking up half of the space.
I'd be walking.
Alright, so Anvara and Valtteri, as you both talk, you are both inside the cart, and audience is helming the cart. Remy is looking fondly at audience, and you hear beside the cart from Fisher walking. It rained for 10 hours, maybe 12 in total. It's gonna be slushy everywhere for a while.
Actually, you know what? Like during this travel, Raimi is also going to practice and perfect minor illusioning the symbol of audience's deity.
That's right, audience. You did recruit Remy into your religion. So all the while, you see him practice reproducing the image of your deity with, well, make a performance roll?
I guess.
You're trying to make an image?
I mean, either that or Arcana.
No, I'd say it's either either intelligence for memory or performance.
Maybe he wants to try and show it off a little bit.
Then
It's
probably
like,
performance.
Am I doing good? Am I doing good? 15.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, audience, you see even Remy adds in a few sparkles. Does a good job. Looks like it. It's not a perfect job, but since you're the only one wearing that medal, you're the only one who noticed. Are you going to tell poor Remy that this is not a perfect replica?
No.
All right.
I would kind of give him a nod, like, pretty good. Not bad. Impressed.
His eyes just sparkle at your praise.
And for some reason, you hear the purring of a cat. All right. Actually, I was just joking when I said that, but when I think about your background,
No, he would know that sound for sure.
yeah, it's sort of appropriate.
It wouldn't be the actual purring, it would be just a noise saying purr, purr.
No, I mean, no, for real. It would be the purring of a cat.
Yeah.
All right, so the day goes by very uneventfully, and again, you find yourself at the end of the day. Bedding down. This time it is not raining, but there's still a bit of dampness on the ground. Would anyone care to make a perception roll to find a good place to bed down?
Sure. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
13.
15.
All right.
16.
18.
Who rolled down?
Everyone's looking, and first there's one that doesn't really notice anything, and then one that noticed one. Oh, this one's there, and then the other was no, this one's better, and then this one. No, this one is better. It looks, it's flat. It's flat. We can even make fire. All right, so you eventually find something very easily with rolls that you all made, and the night goes by uneventfully.
So happy that they can sleep more dryly.
It always helps.
I don't have to wake up with swamp ass anymore.
Yeah. Wake up and you know why you have a rash in your butt. No, you wake up and you wake up and very uneventful. Fisher, who was watching during the night?
Me.
Only you? Alright.
I don't know.
I probably would in between, or like get early to bed, wake up early, and then
Alright.
also
Well,
watch.
by now you all know that Fisher can easily keep watch throughout the night.
Meh.
It's part of who he is, or rather what he is. But
He wakes up early normally as well, so
Alright, so Fisher, could you make a perception
I
roll?
rolled 21.
Wow. All
It's a
right.
natural 20 plus 1.
Oh. All right. In that case, the night wasn't uneventful. However, in the morning, you caught a glimpse of something that is considered lucky in most of the shattered continent. Very high up in the sky, you saw the shadow of a dragon flying by. It was flying. You're here. It was flying almost directly to the south.
That's considered lucky.
Yes.
Okay.
Dragons. Because construct and dragons are very prominent inside the inside of this world. Warforge having been elevated, making of Warforge or construct, which can become a Warforge eventually, has been elevated to a level of an art. So there's been many artistic form of it, but it's been there since the Shattering. So no one can imagine their life without seeing at least once a construct in their life. It's a bit of the same with dragons. Dragons are part of one of the two creation story around this world that most people actually know. One of them being it's the construct's fault, one of them being it's the dragon's fault. So, and in more northern region, there's a lot more dragons. No one knows if they're there because of the Dragonborn or the Dragonborns are there because of them, but there's a lot more of them. And it's not rare to see a dragon flying in the sky. Usually it's only one, and he's very high up in the sky. But in most island chain, you find that a dragon lives there, or think of it as part of his territory. So, in terms of rarity, seeing a dragon in the sky is probably very similar to seeing a shooting star.
Alright.
If it starts going down and you feel the aura of terror, that might become
That's a little different.
Yeah, but just seeing one very high in the sky, it's just a small shadow, but the shape is very easy to recognize. It's sort of like seeing a shooting star.
Oh, nice.
So, that's all you see during the night. And that was probably toward the morning, when the night no longer is black and there's starting to be a bit of change of color in the sky. You see a bit of blue and purple starting to emerge from. This is where you saw the shadow going.
You said flying south?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's it. That's all you have for that day.
Cool.
So morning ritual is the same. Valtteri, are you letting everyone use Goodberry or...
Yes.
Alright, so mark it up in your spells.
Yes.
For everyone else, you'd be out of water right now.
I create water in the.
Alright. How much
I
of it?
forgot. How much can it hold?
Dep-
40, right?
Yes, it can hold 40 gallon.
Then I'll use the whole 30.
Alright, so you have a almost full barrel of water, which can support a lot of you for about a week. So,
Yeah, because I know Rami wasn't going to be able to lift that barrel to the river, so just throwing that out there.
Hey, it's clean water.
it's magical water. It's sparkly water that doesn't sparkle. So, alright, so you all... No, that's right, Fisher doesn't need to drink and eat, so it lasts even longer
nope.
than a week.
Yep.
It'll actually really last 10 days. Alright. And there's the horse, of course. Yeah. Alright, so you keep on going, and this day, wow, it's really not a very pleasant midsummer. Alright, well, the sky still is pretty covered, and the wind is strong, but weather is average, and it is not raining. So the weather is comfortable for summer. You know, if you are a creature which was born in the cold, you might find it a bit hot, but none of you are, so it's still comfortable. The day goes by very uneventfully. You are here. So, audience, since you are the one who is piloting this cart, if you would make a perception roll for me, you can be assisted by someone, or you can assist someone.
Is Remy sitting at the front with me?
Yes.
Where else would he be?
I'm gonna assist Remy.
All
Make a
right.
perception roll.
Then Remy, you can roll perception with advantage.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a better roll than that. Okay, yeah, that'll be a soft 20.
All right.
Pretty good.
So,
The other roll was a 2.
well, the difference is just 0, so... So you look around throughout the day, and nothing catches your attention. But with a 20 like this, the fact that nothing catches your attention actually eventually does catch your attention. There should be more. With a hot weather like this one, and as the day keeps on going, the weather keeps on becoming a lot hotter, but the cloud suddenly disappears and the wind dies down to just a breeze. But you should be hearing birds and insects. But you really don't notice any signs of something being nearby.
Raymond just kind of like say out loud, like, it's quiet. Too quiet.
Audience will stop the cart and be like, "What do you think's going on?"
Just like keeps thinking to himself and just kind of shrugs as if to say like, it's wrong, but I don't know why.
Hmm. I'll turn to Fisher. I'll be like, "Perhaps we should have everyone keep on guard. I'd like to keep moving, but there may be something afoot."
Okay.
Did you say it loud enough for everyone to hear you?
Well, I didn't do it quietly. If you were nearby, yeah.
All right. And Vara will stand on the back of the wagon, longbow in hand.
Shouldn't be
Right.
too bad. Dragon flew over last night.
Thank you.
It's just really just giving the chest bump to this guy, like, yeah, you got me.
We are being watched over. We should be all right.
All right. So, how long do you want to spend just looking around, or do you just want to keep going but being very, very mindful of your surrounding?
I'd say I'm gonna keep going and just be mindful. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Then, in that case, you keep on going throughout the day, and
The sinister rustle of paper from a DM.
yeah, you hear the sound of paper ruffling. Oh. So,
Grumble of any more dice, fuck.
so no, yeah, you keep on going, and you do notice coming from up ahead, toward the end of the day, there is a larger caravan coming your way. You're maybe an hour and a half away from the village, the town actually. So it's not that uncommon, especially since you're on a longer road, that caravans will take this, but when they do, they are usually better armed or defended. But there's one coming your way.
All right. I'll turn to the rest of the group and be like, "Stay on guard, but don't seem threatening. They may be friendly."
I'll stow my bow for the time being. All right.
All right. Valtteri, Remy, and Fisher.
I guess how descript / nondescript is this wagon?
How far away is it?
Well, I'd say it's starting to enter your field of vision, so most likely a few hundred feet away. They're not trying to be discreet. From where you are right now, you can see that there's most likely at least one wagon and one cart, as the first one looks like to be a cart, then followed by something that has a covered top. But from that far away, it's a bit hard to see how many people are traveling with it. There's definitely 2 people sitting at the front of the first cart, and you think you can see, especially Remy, because of high passive perception, you think you can see one person walking beside it. The stands feel like a bit of a martial background person, so most likely either an official guard or hired guard.
So, based on what he can see, he's not going to be like too worried about it. Usually, just like in his mind, it's like usually the most suspicious wagons are the least descript ones. The ones that are trying to act as though that they're not actually there. So like he'll kind of pay attention to it, but not as closely as the others, I don't think.
All right. So you both make your way toward one another, and as the feet start diminishing, 200 feet, maybe. No, actually, the length of, yeah, maybe 500 feet when you really start noticing details. It's a caravan mostly made of covered wagon, a few carts with it, but it's maybe 5 or 6 on total. It's maybe 2 carts, the rest are covered wagon. You can notice that there's a lot of people walking beside it. Some of them are walking between them and not on the sides, making it look like from afar that there's less people guarding it. But the closer you get, the more you end up noticing that, all right, the guards are well armored. There's no obvious signs of heraldry, so it's not from a noble. It's most likely just a wealthy merchant.
Right.
Your group and this caravan almost comes in contact when they're maybe 50 feet away. You do notice that the guards seem to look at you and look at you in a way that says, "We're the bigger caravan. You step to the side while we come."
Actually, incidentally, noticing the noticing like the disparity in I guess because you get like the impression is that this caravan is a bit wealthier than they are, right?
Actually, the difference of wealthy and noble, it's wealthy for a peasant, so it's most likely a wealthy merchant, but it's not decorated like a noble would decorate his own caravan. So this is why it feels like it's probably just a wealthy merchant.
Like, you know what? As the caravan is passing by, Raimi's going to keep an eye out for exposed purses.
Make a perception roll.
Really, you're really gonna be doing this shit, my guy?
I think you forget what class this is.
No, I know exactly what class this is. That's why.
26.
26. Yeah, definitely. You noticed how people are equipped. So you notice that most of the heftier pouches are on the people helming the carts and the wagons. Those walking beside it have very thin pouches, meaning they are there to protect, and they know that they will be the first one to be attacked if someone wants to attack this, so they are not going to place their wealth where it's easy to get at. The rest of the people walking beside it are normal people who just need to stretch their legs. So they left most of everything they had inside the carts. You notice this easily as their belt is mostly empty, with the exception of maybe a dagger or something like that. So there are a few very interesting pouches, but they're all on the waist of those sitting on the cart and front of the wagons.
But otherwise, they're not looking down at them.
No. They seem to be feeling very confident from the fact that they have, at the very least, 6 guards that you can see walking beside the carts, and probably, though it's a bit more difficult to judge, most likely another 6 guards between the carts. And you don't know in those that might be covered.
Yeah, so
Easy.
there's now going to be an invisible mage hand at one of the larger purses. just going to swipe that.
All right. So as you would be crossing like this, there would. What is the range of mage hand?
It can be up to 30 feet away from me. So pretty much just like as the caravan is passing by.
All right. All right. Then in that case, make a stealth check. No, it would be a. So the hand is invisible, so it would be a sleight of hand check.
So with the advantage because invisible. I'm asking for a friend. Not that roll's going to get much better, but
would it be advantages because it's invisible? No, because it's feeling. You're trying to yank something from a belt.
it doesn't matter anyway because it's a 24. I rolled an 18 on the die.
Okay. All right. So, as you're all crossing this long caravan and you see a lot of people crossing, Remy, you do notice one in the middle of the caravan which feels like he's slightly distracted, and you let your mage hand go. Just a few signs with your hand, fortunately, because you're in the front. The only one who could actually see this is audience, and you are way above his passive perception. So the invisible hand reaches out, take a purse, unhook it from the belt, and starts dragging it back. So right now, there is a pouch floating, and it has to cover 30 feet. Make a stealth check for your magical hand. Because the hand is invisible, but the pouch isn't.
Yeah, I'm aware. Like, come on, Remy, I believe in you. Let's see, that'll be a 24.
24. All right. So expertly, you
Can you tell where I specced?
Expertly, you unhook the pouch, and you drag it right on the side of the cart, and then slowly lower it, almost kissing the side of the cart, to the ground, and drag it under your cart, and leave it there until the entire caravan has passed. No one has noticed it. And when everyone is not looking, you just slide it up from the front, where only audience could see it, but as passive perception does not rival your roll, he doesn't notice that there is a large pouch snaking its way on board and just ending in your hand.
And Remy just pretends like nothing happened.
All right.
I could just tell that Aiden in Anvara's voice is just thinking, you see?
If Anvara was seeing this, she would feel so fucking good about herself.
Unfortunately, his roll are much higher than your passive perception.
I know.
And the best that the Karen rolled was an 11, so...
Damn, I could have stolen from them with an 11, but
Well,
Not
your sleight of hand check would most likely not have been as high as Remy. Because if I'm not mistaken, sleight of hand and stealth is where you put your double proficiency bonus.
Actually, no, I just got a really good roll for the sleight of hand, but the ones that are expertise are stealth and perception.
So,
Nope.
Son of a bitch.
so, Remy, you have in your hand a very hefty pouch. Are you just... What are you doing with it?
It's like, for now he's going to just like hide away the pouch and count it later. Because he doesn't know, he actually does not know how the others would feel about this. Except for Angara, he knows exactly how she would feel.
Very well what Angara would do.
All right.
I mean,
Okay,
Brady
but
still hasn't
take
even
on
told about all the
audience
other
at the
stuff he
same
found, like from when he stole from the dwarf/elf. He showed them only the important things.
So, yeah. So basically, Anvara watches the caravan just as one guard looks. But Aiden keeps saying, "I told you, see?
You tiny feathery cunt. Oh my god.
Oh, no. That
Does
was
the caravan say anything to us as it passes, or does it just pass?
No, actually, they just look at you pass, and since you're not making any aggressive move, they don't pick up on anything problematic. You did notice that they seem to be paying very close attention to what was inside, especially since you are a very mixed group of people. But the guards seemed to become a bit more tense, a bit more mindful of everything that was going on. But other than that, you did get a wave from the first person at the front when the two cross. Just very normal looking human just going, good travel.
I will wave back.
But that's it. They let you go without any problem.
Meanwhile, Raymond's just feeling super proud of himself.
And the day goes by. You reach the village. Probably a bit late during the day. 6 or 7. But you reach and nothing else happened. And even the weather has mostly cleared up. It's almost a beautiful beginning of a night sky. The wind is almost completely calm. The weather is very pleasant. Especially for Remy, who feels a little warm feeling inside. And you all get into the village, into the town. So, is there anything you would... Well, for the night, it's mostly going to be the inn. But in the morning, you could go to town. You could do stuff if you wanted to. So, like I said before, stops in villages will mostly... I will just treat them as you... as I would an encounter like this caravan. Villages, towns and cities, I will put more attention because there could be more there. So this is a town. You could do a little bit of shopping there. There are a few things you can find. But if there's not, I'll just see if there's something worth mentioning. If not, the night and the morning will go by fairly quickly.
All right. Again, I'm just trying to get back to the garden, so I don't really have anything to do.
So,
Yeah, I think.
in that case, for audience, all you need to do is pay the toll for your room. And since you had a
So
good berry,
what's that? 1 silver again?
The 1 silver, it's a poor quality room, so it's most likely a bed that is not hard, not soft, but not hard, with a chest at the foot of the bed and maybe a chair. It's very a basic room.
I'm good with that.
All right. Anvara, Valtteri, and Remy. Fisher, you do not need a room, but you could get a room if you want to.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Ramy's
Got
getting a room because he
valuable
needs someplace
shit in the
private.
Take a wild guess where Anvara's gonna go sleep.
Especially in a town, there is definitely something a bit larger of a shrine, and since you are praying to a god of life, because there is stuff around which needs growing, there is an effigy of that there, so you are welcome. Valtteri?
I stay by the cart.
Are you gonna sleep at the cart? You're in a town, so if you want to sleep at the cart, you can. I think they're still going to ask you for something if you sleep in the cart that you stow near the inn, because basically they sort of feel like you're trying to steal a room by just putting your horse there and then sleeping in the cart, saying, "Oh no, it's for the horse, it's not for me," and then sleeping in it. So
Okay, I'll get a room.
you can get the very most basic room of all, which is basically the size of a cupboard, just large enough for a bed, which will be 7 copper.
Yeah, that's enough.
So there's a very Harry Potter feeling into what you're sleeping. The very first movie or book. So it's...
How much silver and copper would I get back when I give them 1 gold, because I only have 1 copper? And no silver.
So you have no silver. Alright, so you give a gold, which means you get back 9 silver and 3 copper, if I'm counting correctly.
Okay.
An audience, if you want to make less noise when you walk, you could try and have a few copper and silver exchange into gold.
Audience wouldn't think about that.
It's fair enough.
Someone could mention it to him, but audience, the weight doesn't bother him, so...
All right.
Honestly, Remy kind of likes the chinking sound.
Well, audience most likely think that it's his own chainmail. He doesn't realize that it keeps doing so even when he removes the chainmail. So for him, it's the comforting sound of being armored throughout the day. Alright, so Remy, you go into your room, and do you take the most basic of room, or do you take something that is a little bit less poor than what Valtteri took? You take the same.
He'll take the less poor option. He's feeling pretty good about himself today.
Alright, so because it's a village, you can go up to modest, which means you could go up to 5 silver, which is very comfortable. You actually get a desk, a chair. They might even leave a little pitcher of water for you to wash your hand or drink, but preferably not both.
Yeah, he'll splurge.
Alright. So, you have your room. What do you do with your room?
He opens that pouch. Now that he has privacy.
I didn't want to force you to do something, so this is why I asked. But I was pretty sure that's what you were going to do. All right, so you open the pouch, and you actually find in the pouch. Hold on. All right. In the pouch, you find 4 gems, which are quite small, but you do not know them, so you do not know their exact value. However, you do know that merchants will sometimes transform money into gems because it's easier to have more in a single place. It's a good way to basically have a $50 bill. So they're most likely worth something interesting. You find 31 gold. Oh, well, you must have spent a lot of money just before because you only find 4 silver in it. But you do find this one. 57 copper in it.
Yeah, just does that thief thing of like putting it on the bed and just kind of like doing the counting thing, just like.
And probably for someone entering the room, it's a bit odd because you are taking from most likely different persons. So it's sort of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Realizes he hasn't heard someone say the number 9 before. 10.
Yeah.
Or he probably would have heard 9, but maybe not so much 28.
No, but there are a few numbers which are odd, 11. Who has 11 something? You have 10, you have 12, you have 15, 11, 13.
Cool people.
All right. Who says 23? All right, so this is what you find inside the pouch.
Gleefully puts the gems into his gem collection and puts the other money into his regular pouch.
All right. That's right. You're going to have quite a few gems to have evaluated. All right. Fisher, could you roll a wisdom saving throw for me?
Ah!
Like, why?
Why wisdom?
3.
All right.
Nice.
You spend your night in your sentry mode, just watching, guarding. And contrary to Valtteri, who tried to have a room without paying it by sleeping inside the cart, no one asks any question for you because you look a construct, and construct are usually used to defend carts and do things like that. So no one actually asks questions when you just stand next to the cart and start looking in every direction. At one point in the night, as you're looking around, being mindful, there is a small moment where you feel a bit of an ache in your head, but it clears off after 1 or 2 seconds and just keep on looking around. And the morning
Is that-
comes.
A familiar feeling in any way?
Make an intelligence roll. Roll high.
Roll high. The one
8.
thing Fisher can't do.
True.
One thing Andre can't do.
Yeah. Fucking.
No. That moment of distraction doesn't bring up any memories.
Can I, when it happens, can I just kind of shake my head and take a look around?
Sure. Make a perception roll.
Use a different die. 15.
15. All right. You look around. It's really the middle of the night. You do notice an owl looking at you. But other than that, there's really nothing in there. It's... Even the horse looks like it's sleeping.
Can I check on my object?
Sure. Make an investigation roll.
Is that intelligence?
Plus proficiency. 14.
14. It takes a bit of time because you can't shake that feeling that it wasn't normal, but you know, and you just look through your stuff and yeah, it takes a few moments, but you find everything.
I was gonna specifically look at my docent.
Ooh.
By my object, that's what I meant.
Okay. I thought it was still
See
in
if
your chest.
It is.
Okay. Okay. When you said you were going to look through your things, I thought you meant your backpack. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was gonna take it out and look at it.
All right. You look at it and... Well, not much of it has changed. It does feel maybe a bit cleaner. There's something about the gems encrusted thing around on it that feels sparklier without being actually shiny. Just it feels different, a bit more alive.
Okay.
Need to make sure Raimi doesn't want it.
I don't think you've seen it. It's kind of hidden.
No, but just remove the shiny quality.
Yeah. Okay. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna be very shiny. But okay. I'll put it back. And yeah, go back to my sentry mode.
All right. Well, the night goes on. Eventually, the owl leaves. You believe it saw something that it liked because it just left without making a single sound. And then you heard in the distance. But that's it. That's all you see during the night. And the morning comes. You come out of your sentry rest. Completely recovered from everything. Anvara, Audience, Valtteri, Remy, you also all come out of your sleep. Valtteri, oh boy, I mixed two names together. Anvara, you come out of your trance. Most likely pondering the wise words that were spoken to you by Valtteri in the past few days, unaware of Remy's action in those last few days. But you all reconvene. It is the morning. You are in a town. If you want to do something there, you can. If not, we just keep on going.
I want to get these quest rewards turned in.
Very quick. Can I buy a fucking tent?
Most likely. Hold on. How much does a tent cost? That's not the right book.
18 gold and 1 copper.
That's a fucking nice tent.
Comes with a slave.
Jesus.
Criminals are bad. It comes with a slave, yes.
Like, ooh, this tent comes with a slave.
All right.
Just gets the package over. Hey, look, Ramy, there's another one in here.
Depending on the laws of the country, though, to be fair, slavery and criminal activity can be two separate things.
Yep.
True. But in the Mistle Island chain, slavery is pretty much frowned upon.
Oh.
But
Oh, really? Is it?
well, technically,
It's the
Doesn't
cost.
seem like it is.
technically, as long as you are not awakened, it is not slavery.
Damn.
No, that's
Hey.
accurate.
If you can't consent, you can't. You can also not give consent.
Wait. I don't think not. No,
I don't think it's how it works, but if you want to justify it in your mind like this, who am I to say something?
No, really, I don't have that
Nice.
rock turner mentality. Don't worry.
There's nobody there yet. So, it's not-
So yeah, there is. You find someone willing to sell you a tent. He's selling it to you 2 gold and 5 silver. It's a two-person tent.
Oh, what other sizes does he have?
In the player handbook, there's no other. But I can come up with something for a very small tent, which is basically just enough material to cover yourself, and if you're very tall, your feet are dangling out. So
No, I mean I can't have like a tent like in that Harry Potter movie, where it's just like it looks like a normal tent. It's essentially a bag of holding.
well, actually, yes, you can, but that's gonna cost more likely in the range of 1,000 gold, because there's
Can I make a
spells in
tent
it.
of 18? And I'll take the 2-man tent.
If you insist, I can come up with a price for a single-person tent.
Oh no, I'll take the 2-man one. Unless you can come up with a price for like a 4-man tent,
Well,
like a
that's starting to...
deployable military teepee thing that I use in the cadets. Fits like 12 kids. Trust me.
Yeah, actually, I remember seeing that somewhere. Maybe it was in the... we should be taking a break right now, so I'll try and find where it is as we take the break. But other than the tent, is there anything you'd like to do?
I'll, I guess, pawn off my longsword I took from one of the hobgoblins.
Okay, longsword.
Put this at your bedside table instead of a bat.
I am very specifically getting rid of it more than looking to get.
A good price of it?
Yeah.
All right. So if you're really looking to get rid of it, you will find someone who will buy it for you for 6 gold.
Sounds good.
Anything else? Remy, Valtteri, audience? Audience, I know, but... All right.
Rami doesn't need anything at the moment.
All right. So during the break, I will take a look at the tents because I remember looking at one that's much bigger, but I think it's not in the player handbook. It's in a either
Probably Zen or something.
yeah. All right. So well, we're going to take the break right now to give me a chance to find this, and we will be back in roughly 10 minutes, usually between 10 and 13 minutes. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye.
See ya.
All right, welcome back, everyone. And this time I did have the right backdrop while we're on break. Yay! All right, so we settled the question, well, at least for now, about the tent. And the group has bought a very nice, large tent, which they will be able to use in the future. Unless someone learns Liamon's tiny hut. In that case, that tent will become a way to hide the hut. All right. So... you all wake up and you just gather your things. Sorry, you already gathered your things. And you keep on going for the last leg of the journey, which is to lead you to Groshill, which is just a few hours away of walk from the entrance to the garden. So the question after a pleasant walk in a partially clouded day with a very mild breeze, but a bit of a heat, it's... Oh, sorry, I didn't see the second dice. It is extremely uncomfortable because of the humidity. If it weren't for
the weather
that...
has been all over the place.
Yeah. No, because when I roll for the weather, if I roll above a certain number, I roll again to see if there's humidity. And it was just enough, so you have a feeling that if it weren't for the humidity, it wouldn't be that bad of a day. But it's just so humid. It's almost like trying to breathe through water. It's thick and... Oh, we have a familiar watching.
Yeah, he wanted to get out a bit.
That's all right.
Lizard.
So it's so
You're the
humid.
dragon. Excuse you.
Yeah.
So it's so humid, it almost feels like trying to breathe through water. It's that thick.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's I can feel it. The vines are a bit swollen, but that's it. So, what would normally take you maybe only 6 hours, because of that, will take you the entire 8 hours of walk. Because you are drinking more than usual, but fortunately enough, you have 25 gallons of water in your barrel, which is more than enough to get through the day. But as you get closer to the village of Groshill, you do have to make a decision. Are you going to Groshill and then to the gates of the garden, or do you go off-road and directly to the gates of the garden?
Directly to the garden.
I'm down to go directly.
All right. So, you take the cart a bit off road, and you start making your way to the gate of the garden. Again, audience and Raimi being at the front. Raimi, you can make a yes.
I was just saying I'll give Raimi advantage.
Remy, you have advantage on your perception roll.
Like, before he even had to say it, he just knew what it was up. Okay, that one's pretty chill. So, only one better. So it'll be 22.
22. Well, for a day that is that humid and uncomfortable, well, you look at everyone except Fisher, who just keeps rolling his shoulder like this because they feel a little stiffer because the vine have swollen a bit. Everyone else just looks like they're dying because, well, Valtteri, it's just uncomfortable for you because you do have resistance against all that is heat, but because it's humidity, it does slightly cut inside of it. So it is to a point where you do feel a bit of discomfort. And if you want to know what kind of humidity would make even a tiefling uncomfortable, it is a humidity rolled on a natural 20. So so even you are a bit uncomfortable, and this is not something that happens very often.
Okay.
For audience and Anvara, both of you, especially Anvara, you're more used to living in the forest, and humidity like this, you usually have the shade of the forest covering you, so it's not as bad. But since the sky is mostly clear, you feel the humidity, you feel the sun bearing down on you, and the heat. Even for you, it's uncomfortable. So you make your way to the gates of the garden, and it's pretty uneventful. Remy, you do notice maybe when you're 200 feet away from this small arch which formed the gates of the garden, an arch made of trees and vine intertwined together. So it's sort of, when you're looking at it from a distance, it looks like two trees which would have grown to touch one another at the end. But it's four trees like this, all of them reaching toward the same point at the center and to themselves on the sides. So it sort of forms a nice pattern of an archway. But nothing of this feels like it was forced. It really feels like they grew like this, and maybe they took advantage of the fact that it really looked like an archway. And if you're wondering why I'm describing this like this, because I've actually seen trees growing like this before, and it was really cool. So as you are getting close, approaching this, you do see one small shadow moving about. It's rather short, but it's moving about, not trying to be stealthy. It looks like it's rummaging through the ground around the gate.
Raimi, if he can't see it clearly at this moment, he's just gonna keep his eye on it because he's not really sure. It's like, is this an attack? This is just a random animal in the forest. Who knows?
As you get closer, you can eventually start discerning the form. It is definitely humanoid, small. Nothing really helps you discern what sort of race it would be, beside the fact that it is a small race. So from your point of view, it looks like maybe a halfling or gnome. Because it's not wearing anything that would discern it as being otherwise. And it looks like it's trying to gather herbs. It's moving from one patch of grass with a few flowers in it, and it's picking through them and taking one and looking at it, and carefully placing it in a pouch. And then after a few moments, it goes toward another one, and it keeps moving like that on the plane.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna tug on audience's chainmail and point them out.
All right.
Because of how close you got to be able to perceive these differences, audience, I won't make you roll, because unless you roll a 1, which kind of would be funny, you're gonna see it.
I did not roll a 1.
So you look at where Remy's pointing, and you do see this small creature bent over,
Alright.
rummaging through patches of different... You'd call it weed, but because it looks like uninteresting patches of different types of growing things, but you know, some people actually look for those. But yeah, it looks like something rummaging through the dirt and vegetation to collect things. Small. Most likely halfling or gnome.
Alright. I will call out to it. I'll be like, "Ho there. What are you up to on this day, hot day?"
What'd you call me?
We're digging around in the garden. I mean, what else you gonna call?
So as you say this, you hear a voice that for most of you would feel a bit unfamiliar. Valtteri, I'd say you can make an intelligence roll.
Why me?
Because you might remember
Oh.
the voice.
I think I do. I have a just pure intelligence.
Yeah. It's memory.
An 18.
Alright. Alright, so it's pretty good. You hear this small voice answer, and for all of you who've just heard the audience, hey, try to call out to this creature, you see him just stand up a bit, turn around, and usually people don't notice me. Valtteri, for all of you, Anvara, audience, Remy, and Fisher, you recognize an odd sight. It is a Sharoon without its mushroom hat,
Yeah.
which is
I remember him.
very uncommon. But there is one inside the garden. Valtteri, you recognize his voice. It is the one that you met in the wood, who was doing a lot of weird stuff.
First meeting him at that weird circle thing, I think. Then meeting him again, I think. Where
Oh,
he
yes.
was like looking for strings or something.
Oh yes, and he even noticed something when he watched you. So it's what he starts by saying. Usually people don't notice me. Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Well, I'm just gathering herbs. Hi.
He's just gonna like, okay.
I'm just gathering herbs. They sort of lack variety inside. I just thought that maybe it could be useful to have all of these. I really don't know if it was intentional or not, but they they're lacking variety a lot. Yeah.
Well, they did, I think, say that they fairly recently came to this realm, so perhaps that's why they lack so much variety.
Their library's kind of empty.
Oh, well. I haven't spent a lot of time in their library. I've mostly been realigning the flow inside the garden.
I helped you with that.
Yes. It made it easier. It made it easier. He looks at you and looks at everyone and oh, yeah. And you see him transform into a small bird. He just flies off and perch itself on one of your horn, and he just looks between the horns, and then he looks around, and then he goes on audience head. And audience, you have this bird that just lands on your head, and he just walks there.
I'll say, good to know the odd ones aren't just in our group.
Hey.
After a moment, you feel him go from one side to the next and then go more toward your nose, and then he just hops and just fly to the tip of your nose and looks at you in the eyes, one eye at a time, you know. Then he flies off and goes on Vara's head. You have a small bird, which feel like something very close to a barn swallow. So he's just on your head, and you feel him going from one side to the next, and then he starts moving your hair a little bit. And you feel him stop. Do you do anything?
You good, little guy?
Sorry?
You good, little guy? Like, I just gonna, like, who's next to me right now?
Most likely, Valtteri. If you're all in the same general order as you were while you were traveling.
What's he doing?
Probably just checking you out.
Okay. Cool.
Then he goes on Fisher's head. Fisher, you have a small barn swallow who just lands on your head and starts looking you, and he even pecks one or two times on your head, and you just hear this tong tong. Then you feel him go from your head and go on your shoulder.
I'll just kind of glance at him and go, do you want to ride to the garden?
He looks at you for a moment, with just one eye, and then both. And then he looks at your shoulder, and especially he takes more special care around the vine part that kind of can be showed where you have your joints. But then he looks at a different angle from under your jaw. Then he flies off and goes to Remy. You have a small barn swallow landing on your head. It's a very new sensation. You feel him move around and then ruffle a few feathers. And then stop. Do you do anything?
He just kind of like starts tilting his head, trying to get a look, but realizing his neck isn't really built for that.
Every time you look up, you can't see up. Oh. So after a moment, he just hopped off your head and goes back in front of all of you. And he transformed back. And he looks at Valtteri and I see you found others like you. Yeah, there are a few others. But I see you have most of them with you. That's very good. I'm glad you actually all found your way to one another. You might want to try and find the others. Some of them have left. They're on quests. But yeah,
The others of
the others with and he redoes what I'm doing. He just taps on his head with it. The others with a second dream.
Maybe just kind of tilts his head one and then the other.
Oh yes. You have a second dream. He looks specifically at you, Remy, when he says that. There was the dream about the object. I'm pretty sure that dream felt weird for you. But there was another dream which came after. Another one which felt weird for you. They also have it.
who?
He points toward all of you when he says that. They also have it.
Remy looks up at audience
Who
as if
other
for
than
confirmation.
everybody here?
He just gestured toward your group when he said they all had it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a nod. I'll say.
I feel like
I've
we
had-
already knew that.
You talked about this. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's very good. Well, I have more plans to pick. It's nice meeting you, and you again. And he points toward Valtteri when he says that. Yeah, bye. He just turns around and
Hope we see each other again.
goes back to picking herbs.
Wait, who else besides us had the second dream?
Are you asking him?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there were others. When I noticed that your friend had more dreams in her head, I flew around in the garden. I looked at other people, and there are not a lot of them, but a few of them had that second string linked to their dream.
Do you remember how they looked like? Or maybe their names?
Well, a lot of people, most people don't actually give their name freely unless you ask for it. And they don't give their name to birds also, which is a shame. But there was, I remember, there was one with red hair. Not you. And he looks at Anvara and he says that, another one. And there was this man with a black cloak.
So one from the garden themselves? Not a person that arrived here as well, like us?
Oh yes. I've seen them both in the garden. There was the one with the red hair, and there was the man with the black cloak, and there was
Maybe you noticed their race?
the one with the red hair, and I don't know. She looks well, not like any of you. Well, a bit like you, but not you. And he points toward Anvera when he says that. So it's a bit more common in her appearance. She had red hair. The man with the black cloak. Again, I'm judging because of the smell and because of the voice. So I think it's a man. But that's about it. He always has his hood up. I don't know why. There was another one like you, and he points toward audience. Yes, there was another one like you. He's not there right now though. He went out on a quest, and I think there was a woman with silver hair, or was it the one next to her? I'm not sure.
Do you remember the colors of the scales of the other Dragonborn?
I'm pretty sure it was a very grayish, pale color.
Okay.
Silver.
Maybe if you could tarnish silver.
And the woman with the silver hair, do you maybe have also seen kind of like features showing some specific race or?
Well, no, but there aren't a lot of women with silver hair in the garden. The others, I haven't been able to track them because it's not easy to follow those strings. And he gets back to who of you is on the ground? Out of the cart, I mean. Fisher?
Yeah.
So he goes toward you, Fisher, and he just gestured to you to bend over. It's a shrew. He is half your size.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and he just you feel his finger go on the top of your head, and it feel like he's taking something, as if there was something in your head, but when he pulls, and he very gently pulls on it, you don't see anything in his hand, but he just placed it in front of him, and it's very difficult to follow these strings. They're very tricky to see, but they're there, and they're very easy to break. There was actually another one, a small one, who had one, but it broke. I don't know why, but it broke. He lets it go. Came in at the beginning. Little guy who kept talking, but I don't know why. The string just vanished and broke.
Maybe our old rogue friend. I look to audience and Fisher.
Yeah. How can you see these?
You can't?
How can you see them?
I've always been able to see them.
Is that a Sharoon thing?
I don't know.
Hmm.
A lot of. I wasn't raised inside of a clan. I was mostly raised in the forest. So I really didn't have much contact with anyone. I came from the glaive. Valtteri, I would allow you to make an intelligence roll on that, because you're a druid.
Okay. 18 plus 1 and 19.
19. You have heard of this. The glaive is sort of a demiplane, similar to the Feywild, I'd say. But it is supposed to be a place where nature selects people and trains them personally. So from the point of view of a druid, he is a servant of nature trained by nature itself. And then released in the world, usually to accomplish a goal.
So something really special, kind of seen like
Rare
druids.
and special.
Okay. I see. So nature trained you. Maybe that's why you can see it?
I don't know.
Well, it is an honor that I was able to help you before and to meet you again.
Well, I don't really know a lot about you, but if it was an honor to meet me, I'd say it's an honor to meet you also. What makes something an honor to meet someone?
Well, I guess because of how you've been trained and of how I've grown up, well, because I'm a druid as well, and we honor nature
Okay.
and try to protect it, so it is something really special
Okay.
to be trained by nature. So that is why
All right.
you're something rare and special seen
All
in the
right.
eyes of other druids.
All right. So how were you trained?
I've been trained by other druids,
Okay.
which is normal.
Oh, okay. He looks at Anvara and how were you trained?
I'm trained by. It's mostly traditional combat training, but we also are imbued with an extra power that comes from divinity, from a divinity.
Yeah.
Mine, in this case, is Anach Nazil.
Oh. Yeah. I've heard of him.
Oh. What have you heard?
Um, he's very loved by those who worship life. Um, they say that he is one of those who brings life to this world. Most likely from one of those shards. So it's pretty important because if he doesn't, there's gonna be a lot less life in the world.
Indeed.
All right.
All right.
So, well, that means I probably should be honored to meet you. And he really comes next to you and gives you a hand.
I bend down in like a respectful manner, not just like squatting, like talking to a kid, but like just like a nice way to like shake the hand of someone who's
Oh.
shorter.
All right. He turns toward Fisher. And how were you trained?
By my teacher.
Okay.
I mean, put in a lot of work, did a lot of studying.
Okay.
Are you wondering what I'm trained in, or just?
No, she said, and she points toward Velter. She said that where you're trained makes it feeling honored to meet someone. I want to know if I'm honored to meet you.
That's not how I meant it.
I mean, I don't.
That's the explanation you gave.
I know.
I
But
guess that's
how
a
people
way
interpret
to
it. Oh, sorry.
do that. Like usually, you'd be honored to meet somebody that you can connect to something you already have respect for.
Oh.
Like if you knew they did something good, or they were a part of a group that, I don't know, has a good reputation.
He crosses his arm and, well, that's a lot more complicated than I thought.
He means like only because me personally, or like because I'm a druid, I see you as something special. Doesn't mean that someone who isn't a druid would see you as something special. Because I have another connection to nature itself than other would have.
So it's a question of perspective.
Yes.
Well, I definitely have to talk more about to all of you if I wanted to know if I'm honored or not to meet you. I guess it's not something that I can learn just by asking you a few questions like this.
I guess it's just how you would see it personally. If you would think it would be something special or not.
Well, you all have one thing in common that not a lot of people have. You all have a second dream.
Then it would be something special in your eyes.
Huh. But is it something honorable?
I guess that it's for you to decide because you're one of the rare occasions who can actually see if someone had a second dream or not.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna have to think about it then. Well, fortunately...
In the meantime,
Yeah?
why don't we start out? I'm Fisher.
Oh!
What's your name?
Wow, it's been a long time since someone asked me that. I think my name was... Sarn... Let's go with Sarn. I can't remember the rest.
A rose by any other name is just as sweet.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Sarn, it was nice to meet you. We've
And what about the rest? Well, I know your name now, and what about you who just talked? He points toward you, Remy.
From this day forward, your name shall be Raimi.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna assume you meant yourself. Because I don't like being called that. But it's a good name. Alright, then he looks at Anvara.
There's a rainbow.
Oh, alright, Raimi with a rainbow. He looks at Anvara, and what's your name?
I am Manvara. We changed my family name. Gotta check again. Tidis or Tidis? It's Tidis with a T. All right.
Oh,
Manvara.
well, that's cool, that's cool, that's nice. He looks toward audience, and what is your name?
I am audience.
Alright. Simple. Easy to remember. Doesn't get confusing sometimes. Well, I guess it doesn't get any more confusing than with Fisher, because he also has a name that is also a word. So... But I guess your name comes up less often than his, especially if you're around water.
I've not heard my name be mistaken before.
You've never heard someone wanting to get an audience?
No, but I've never had my name like
He doesn't-
a mistake.
get an audience usually.
Oh! That's
For most other people, just Raimi, that's a hard disagree.
Oh, well. We're gonna have to work on that. I'm gonna make sure you get an audience one day.
Thank you.
No problem.
It's just an audience of animals.
And what about you? And he points toward you, Valtteri.
I'm Valtteri.
Oh. That's a bit of an odd name for someone like you.
I haven't.
Out of
been
everyone,
raised-
you're the one who feels the most normal having a name that is actually a word. But your name isn't actually a word.
Well, I haven't been really raised by the same kind as I am, so.
Oh. And who raised you?
Well, it's kind of my whole tribe, but
Oh.
mostly a family of dragonborns.
Oh! So you don't know, but you might be step cousin, and he points toward you and audience.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Alright. Alright, well, it was very interesting meeting you. And educational. We're gonna have to have a longer conversation one day, because I still not sure if I'm supposed to be honored by meeting you. Based on all of this information, it's a lot.
Maybe
It's
we
not
feel
something
each
you're
other in the
supposed to be. Sorry.
dark. Sorry.
It's not
You can
something
talk.
you're supposed to be. It's something you decide for yourself.
But I don't know how to decide this for myself, because usually for me it's just, are you happy to meet them or are you not happy to meet them? If you're happy to meet them, you go to them. If you're not happy to meet them, well, you don't go meet them.
I mean, yeah.
That's simple. And then you have to think about the honor, to think about where they come from, what they've done, who they hang around with. I like my way better.
And stick with your way.
Good.
You can learn a lot about a mouse by the way he digs his holes.
That's true, actually.
That's, I think, the first phrase I actually understand from Remy.
Well, for now, we'll probably be in the garden for a bit. So
Okay.
if you want to catch up, feel free. But we should probably get going.
Okay. I'll be here gathering herbs, probably until the night comes out. Some plants only bloom under the moonlight, so it's sort of important that you're there when it happens.
Sure.
All right, well, it was really nice meeting
Keep that in
you.
mind.
It was nice meeting you too.
Nice
Again.
meeting you.
Guess we'll start heading towards the garden.
Until we meet again.
And once we're out of earshot, I'll lean over to Valtteri and go, You actually, like, had a decent conversation with him before this, and you never introduced yourself?
Well, it wasn't really a conversation. It was more like found him in the garden and he just, I think, immediately asked me to take something that I couldn't see. So it was at the beginning lightly confusing to me, and then just kind of forgot to introduce myself because it just went so quickly.
Ah,
Out of didn't I introduce myself to him at the at really first beginning when I found him at the circle? DM. I think I thought of that did.
I'd have to
Or
look
was-
back. I know you never asked his name.
Yeah, but I know that. But I think I introduced myself to him.
All right, well,
It's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Okay, into the garden.
Yes.
All right.
Finally.
Let's get paid.
Here in the
Let's get-
garden, let's play a game.
Let's get this stinking carcass off the cart.
All right. So you get to the entrance, and this time the entrance lets you in, but not in the same general place that you entered the very first time. You enter into a place which is a bit wider, feels like a cargo area.
Oh, wait a sec. I want to make sure that Orina also comes with us.
All right. So you enter into a place that feels a bit more like a cargo area. It's very wide, very tall all around. And there actually is a warden of the garden standing there when you enter. Ah, yes. They told us that a lot of people would bring in horse, carts, and machines. It's a good thing we planned for this. You can just put your cart over there. It's... Don't worry, it'll be safe.
Thank you.
You're very
Rainy,
welcome.
Rainy kind of minor illusions, the dead corpse of the Umbra Hulk.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're trying to get this to Osane, the armorer.
Yes, yes. Well, he's not exactly an armorer, but yes, I know who you're talking about. Yes, I've heard about the bounty. They did say that you were almost back, and we have been expecting you. So, yes, you can immediately go there. I believe that there was more after that. I think that the quest board, as everyone has been calling it, has been updated properly. So you can also go back there. I believe there's a message left for you because of other endeavors that you took that weren't asked but are still welcome. You'll see just who exactly wants to have the information that you have.
Okay. So do we leave this stuff in the cart?
Well, yes, you can.
And
Don't worry about it. We wouldn't ask you to just haul that around, especially not where a lot of people live. But you can leave it here. But there are a few tunnels that you can take, which will take you directly to the area where we treat raw material. And Hossein usually hangs out in those places. So you'd have an easy time of finding him. So you can either leave it here or you can take the tunnel, this one over there. He points to where a tunnel is slightly to your left.
Okay.
Just follow it until you exit into another very large room. All of the other corridors will lead elsewhere.
Very well.
I think I'll take the tunnel.
All right. And of course, since you've fought with this creature and you've actually all come back, I believe there's even... well, like I said, go check the quest board. There's most likely someone willing to give something in return for information about the encounter and also other business that you've conducted.
I can turn the price hit. I can head over there if we want to split up and get this done more efficiently.
Okay. Sure. I guess you guys think I should drop off the Hawkenite? The Hawkenite? Yeah.
Good enough.
The shiny stuff? With
Here, maybe repeat it. Hawkenite.
What are we? So how are we splitting up the Hawkenite? Are you taking the raw material down, and then I'm specifically going to give the piece that I took to Usain?
Well, there's the bit that Fisher collected. There's the one that was like put into our cart, and then there's like the one that you have in your possession. Because if I remember correctly, Fisher like got a whole bag and kind of like sifted through it, the dirt out of it.
yeah.
In the meantime, I could go check the board.
I'll just start taking the stuff down to the raw material place, and I guess you guys can meet me there after checking out the board.
Very well. We shall do that.
All right. So according to what you remember, the person that wants the skin is a gnome called Hossein.
Mm-hmm.
And if the same person that wants the mineral is the one that you heard on the globe when you were talking, this one is called Dahel, and it's a dwarf.
All right.
Did you say Dahel?
D-A-E with 2 dots on it, which means that you're supposed to pronounce the E and the L separately. So Da-L.
Ah.
Like, what the hell?
Well, it's probably closer to Superman. Jor-El? Well, it's Da-El. Because you're not supposed to pronounce the H. It's L.
Yeah.
All right. I will start heading over towards the board. I don't know who is following me.
Apparently, Valtteri is following you, and most likely Remy.
Very closely.
All right. So we have Anvara. You go with Fisher or with audience.
I'll go with Fisher.
All right. So Anvara and Fisher, you go to Hossein to hand out the Umber Hulk pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So you reach this large cavity, and you've seen Hossein before. So make a perception roll. Whoever makes it can have advantage since you're only the two of them. Well, it's one can give advantage to the other, or you can roll separately.
You should. I mean, I already rolled one, but you should also roll. Mine's a 7.
It's his way of saying, like, please don't use my roll.
Should the guy who's proficient do the roll? Maybe.
I'm proficient. I just have a -1 to wisdom, so.
So how much did you roll?
18. 1/8.
All right. Well, that's definitely better than what Fisher rolled. So Fisher is there, and you see him look around.
He's a gnome. He's short. I'm not looking down.
But you, because you're a few inch taller than Fisher, you can actually see at a better angle, and you notice the head of the gnome that you're looking for. And he's surrounded with a variety of carcasses of different kind of creature. One of them you really don't know what it is. Another one you do recognize it's some sort of leather, how it's supple, and he's just stringing it on a large rack.
Yeah, sorry. So I can see him? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
You notice him. He's currently stringing a large piece of leather on a very large tanning rack.
Hail Hussein.
Oh! Hey! You're back! And you're alive!
Yeah. And we got a whole bunch of this stuff for you.
Oh, that's very good! Well, at least I'm happy about it. I know some won't. There was actually a pool on whether you'd survive or not. I guess some people lost.
Do we get a cut?
Damn. Should have bet on that.
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask. I personally bet that you'd make it back alive because I actually wanted my hides.
All right.
Roll insight.
Yeah, it's like he thought there was like 3 of the fuckers down in the mines.
All right. Okay, so this is it's interesting. Yeah, it's I'm guessing none of you actually knew how to treat this.
What do you mean? It's been water treated and heat treated on our way here.
Yeah, I can
cleaned
see
it as best I could.
I can see, and he puts his finger in one place where the carcass just curls around like this, and you hear his finger go. Yes, takes it out and
Yeah, no, don't sniff that finger. Wash it.
I'm
thoroughly.
much more familiar with metal.
He looks at you and says, "Well, actually, I sort of see why, but I honestly think you'd be more familiar with plants and stones. But hey,
Well, this is neither, so.
yeah. Well, judging from the hardness, could be metal. But all right, that's very interesting. How much did we say? I don't. How did you say? How did we say we were going to sell this?
Oh boy, I hope you're not trying to roll a charisma check with him, Andre, because I have a negative charisma too.
So you
I
took.
remember he gave us 50 as an advance.
And then I think it was another 50 afterwards.
All right, so that's what you say to him.
No, I feel like it was more than that.
Was it 100?
I didn't write it down. Can I remember?
Just say 100 and see if he gives it to us.
Roll for it.
Say 100. I want 100 gold.
You already have 100 gold.
I want more.
I'm
Plate mail's
suffering.
expensive, man.
Listen,
I'm
I need
suffering
to
here
give
with-
20 gold every time I have a crush on them, okay? I need a lot of money.
That's right. Audience has a history of paying female bards to play more.
I tier 3 sub to every single bard I see.
So
Female.
Fisher, what do you answer?
I don't remember. I think it might have been dependent on how much we brought back.
Oh.
I know at the very least, Anvara here was going to get to prototype it. Whatever you came out with.
I remember you saying something about wanting an armor made out of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
See if it's actually applicable in practice to, like, fashion Umber Hulk armor for something that's not an Umber Hulk.
Don't worry. I can find a way.
Okay.
You know our reputation. Just give us something for long enough and we'll figure out how to make it. And it's gonna be enjoyable for those still alive. Okay. So, you want an armor? And...
Oh,
okay,
that's
so...
kind of a lot.
Yeah, it's a bit more than I asked for, but I'm not gonna complain. Especially if it's good. Alright, well, let's see. We have a chess piece, we have several long plates. How about... you want to be paid in gold, is that it? You use gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take platinum if you got it, but...
Oh, well, I meant you use mineral. You use metal for your currency.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
How about 300 gold? Is that enough?
Yeah.
All right.
Guess so.
All right. Hold on. I think I might have this somewhere. And he looks around. It takes a few moments, maybe a minute or two, and oh well, that's quite heavy. Here we go. Then he hands you a bag full of gold.
Thank you. You want some help moving this stuff somewhere?
Well, it depends. Are you planning on leaving the garden today? Because if you're not, you can just leave the cart and I'll have it back inside the storage area.
All right. Well, we will need the other stuff on the cart, though.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna take the Umber Hulk remains. Everything else will be there, even the horse. Don't worry about it.
You said you'd return it to the
hangar.
Where we came from.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you're wondering,
Sounds like a
you're on a deck lower than the habitat quarter. It's just under it. Yeah, you know, there are several decks. Just like here, it's the deck under all of the merchant. Actually, I think that the merchant who's gonna sell it, and he looks at the ceiling, and I think he's about there, but on the upper deck.
Okay. Well, yeah. If you need anything else, let us know.
Oh, anything we need, we've been told to put on the quest board.
Sounds like you guys don't really like that name.
Well, we actually just think it's a bit funny. You know, a board where you write quests. It sort of feel like something you'd read inside a book, you know. Everyone went to the quest board.
Yes, very esoteric.
Everyone was bored, so they went questing for the quest board.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see you later, I guess.
Most likely.
How do we get back up?
Oh, you just have to go down over there. You see those stairs, and he points toward your right. You just take those stairs back up, and this is going to take you directly into the commercial district. And I'm pretty sure you've already been there. So from there, you just have to, well, go wherever you want it to go.
Yeah. All right. And we'll see you later.
All right. All right. Well,
That didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to.
well, you did take a little while navigating through the long hallway. It was actually, even there was a small moment where it kind of became a bit odd because it went from metal to stone, and then it went back to metal. So
I'll grab the I'll grab the backpack of Hakanite
the Harakana.
off the cart.
All right.
So some of it,
All right.
because I also wrote down I have a sack of it, and then I also have a backpack of it.
I think. No,
I think the sack was all the tiny bits.
Yeah, that's right. There was two of them. There was one sack which was the bigger pieces, the one that you felt had the bigger concentration. But I think someone else decided to take all of the smaller pieces also.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll take the sack. Whichever one has the...
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Then we go to audience Valtteri and Remy, who makes their way back up. And you just have to take a stair, and it goes back up to the living quarters, where you have all been there. And audience, you have even gotten lost in there once. So, unwillingly, you know quite a fair chunk of this area, as you have walked through most of it. So you do notice that there's not a lot of people around. You do cross maybe one person, and you see a gnome, another gnome, a dwarf. They look like people living here, most likely merchant. It was getting a little bit late, so some store probably have started to close for them, so they're going back to their quarters. You get back inside the inn, and this very large inn, where there is only the last floor where the quest board has been placed. And you look around, you don't see a lot of people. You do recognize the turtle. He's there. He's alone right now, enjoying a glass of something that feels slightly odd and gelatinous. It's green. Seems to be enjoying it, but
All right. I guess I will wave at the turtle as I enter. He was friendly with me before, and then I'll head over to the message board.
He waves back, even with a Of course, with Valtteri and Remy right behind you. So, Remy, you've never actually talked to him, but you remember from the laughs, and the turtle is a pretty friendly fellow.
So Remy will make a rainbow for him.
Yeah! I remember you, Rainbow Guy.
Just watch.
That's it.
That's what everybody calls him around the garden. Hey, you! It's Rainbow Guy.
So you make your way up, and you do cross a few people, mostly not people that you've talked to. Most of the people that you've talked to don't seem to be here right now. So, like I said, there's him outside, which probably now he's closer to getting inside. Sarn. You have actually a dwarf that you recognize from before, sitting on the last level. Is one of those that greeted you when you entered first. He's enjoying a large pint that feels closer to a mini keg than an actual tankard of something. When he sees you come in, he just gives you a small nod. You turn your attention toward the board, and in front of the board, you actually see someone that you've crossed maybe once. The general shape feels like human or humanoid, but he's wearing completely armor. You can't see anything, you can't see any flesh exposed. So he looks like he's wearing, at the very least, plate armor, but maybe one thing that does strike different is that he seems to be wearing a chainmail poncho instead of the chest piece. Goes a bit over his shoulders, and he's wearing the normal helm of a knight. So a bit of a wedged shape in the front, only one slit at the level of the eyes. And you can see him. He's a bit short for a human, but the general shape is human. He's about 5 foot tall. He does have on his waist what looks like the weapons of the arcane arbalist, which for you looks like a bit of a gun, but it's a one-hand crossbow stock fixed to a cylindrical device, armored with metal on top so that it doesn't get damaged. He has that on his waist. And he's looking at the board, and you can actually hear him say something which draw your attention immediately. Yes, Amy. I can make the change, don't worry about it. Yes. The information that you sent me is actually very interesting. We'll most likely be able to open a new gate near Sutian. So it's... thank you a lot. Maybe you could swing by Turanay Woods. We've heard there's an elemental there, so if there's an elemental, there's most likely a way to get to the elemental plane. So there might be a way to make a portal from this. Send me the information as soon as you get there. Yeah, don't worry, you can use the same equipment. Alright, thanks. He just taps on the side of his helm and looks back at the board.
I'll walk up behind him, clap him on the shoulder, say, I like your look, man. I like your style.
Thanks. Hey, I've never talked to you before. I've seen you, though.
The name's Audience.
Oh.
Reach out my hand.
Oh. Thanks. Most people here just call me the Tin Can, but I know it's just a friendly banter. But it's actually what a lot of people call us, where we're from. Yeah. But if you want to call me by an actual name, how is it pronounced in your language? Oh, I don't know if you can pronounce that very well. Kartarin Iritel.
Kartarin Iritel. Raimi repeats.
Karthin. Well, pleased to meet you, Karthin.
So. You're those who went after the Umber Hulk.
Yes, it was a successful mission. There was actually an infestation of drow as well. They had been taking the dwarves prisoners, but we were able to deal with them.
Oh, that's very interesting. Huh. Brings back memories. Oh, you'll have to tell me all about that one night. Actually, it's almost night. I guess we can talk about this a little bit later on. I'll make sure to come back here when there's a lot of people. Well, more. A lot of people just left.
I will buy you a drink.
Well, that's very nice of you. All right. Mostly just water. We can't really drink anything else. It's doesn't do anything for us inside.
Water, liquid of life. Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Milk.
I know, with the color, it looks a bit blue, so it's sort of odd. Whenever you take a drink, it feels like you're drinking the same blue milk from the Star Wars movies.
That's because I am. I'm actually in a galaxy far, far away a long, long time ago. Just broadcasting out.
The lag evens out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took forever to get there.
Somehow 5e works the same way as it did back then.
Yeah. It's actually just a really good trick. We're all synchronizing ourselves with what he says. It's because he's from a galaxy very far away, so it takes a very long time for the image to get here. So it's a bit of a trick we were doing. Sorry. Right, so well, yeah, and yeah, I see you have friends. Are they going to be joining us? I bet they probably fought the creature with you.
I'll look behind me at Valtteri and Remy and be like, one might, maybe both. We'll see. See if Valtteri's up to it.
She's like slowly leaning back, like.
Oh, come
Rainy
on!
makes a fantastic rainbow.
Oh, that's nice. That's an illusion. Oh yeah, all right, I get it. Is it normal that she's leaving?
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm only like leaning back, like trying to like signal, like.
I know.
Okay.
Doesn't change what I said.
She's not a big people person, if you get my drift.
Well, actually, there's several drift that I can get. I've known people which really weren't people person, and most of them are dead now, but really incredible warriors they were. Spent most of their time inside dungeons. You see the type? So is she that type, or is she the other one?
I'll look at her. We'll have to see.
All right.
She's a pretty decent warrior.
All right. So for now, you meant that one. All right. Well, you don't have to be shy about me. I mean, you're taller than me. You're softer than me. I'm all metal. Ting, ting, ting.
I'll just do the thing where I flex or your muscles pop out and be like, I don't know, I'm pretty close. Tap on my tap on like one of my biceps.
So you strike a pose in front of him because you're wearing chainmail. Your muscles are not gonna be very easy to see.
Oh.
So you strike a pose. Yeah, all right. Now I get it.
Won't stop Remy from trying.
No, Remy is imagining it. Suddenly, the rainbow that he was still holding begins to sparkle.
You hear a random voice from the back of the end, except it's just Remy broadcasting his voice, just like, take off your shirt now.
Take off your armor if you love God.
Valtteri and Herd is only like, I should have gone with Fish and Vara.
Probably.
What were you mumbling?
No, I was thinking that, not mumbling.
I know, but he saw your lips moving while you were thinking, so... What was that you were mumbling?
Nothing.
Oh. Oh, you're one of those. Alright.
What do you mean? One of those?
I'll turn back to him. I'll be like, are you finished with the board? Or do you still looking at it?
Hold on. And he just turns toward the board and he starts tapping things, and he's really comfortable with this because he taps at one place, you see a screen enlarging, he taps a different place, slides something, it closes back, you see the board just change color gray, and it stays there. Alright, it's gonna be there. And he starts tapping on other things, slides, adds a few push on different things, and you see this new pop-up that appears on the board with a new quest, and you see under the name of Amiali and Corrivant appear under this one. They're doing this, and oh yeah, they told me to modify this. And this is the one that where it feels maybe not so comfortable seeing. He taps on a red tab completely at the top of it, and you see it expand, and it's written, in honor of those we lost. And he starts tapping, and you see a name appear. He closes it, he goes toward another quest, and you recognize this quest as you spent a lot of time looking at it before. It is the quest where you were supposed to go picking ingredients, mushrooms. He opens it, taps a few things, and you see the board go from green to yellow. And he retracts it and, oh, here you go, I'm done. And he goes away.
What was the name that did I see the name that popped up in honor of those that were fallen?
The name itself, no, but the tab is still there. You can open it.
Oh, okay. Well, can I? That's. I mean, I was trying to take notes while he did it.
I mean, effectively, what he did was leave his laptop open for a public cafe.
Do I notice that audience wants to look the names of the ones who have fallen? Like, would I see it from his body language?
Well, if he reaches to tap on it, yeah, because you're gonna see his finger go right for the tab of the fallen.
No, I'm just wondering if he doesn't know how to do it. I would have done it for him, but if he manages to.
Well, I would actually though ask him before he left. I'd be like, "What do the different colors on the quest mean?" We've only ever accepted one quest, so we're still pretty new to the board and stuff.
Oh yes, well they've actually made a lot of modification because apparently a lot of people had trouble figuring out how it works.
Can imagine what that would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that complicated, you know.
Exactly.
Remy
That's
nods
what
in
I've been telling
agreement
these
with
two.
Remy nods in agreement.
I just pointed you behind him. It's just like, yeah, that's what I've been telling these two. It's not that complicated.
Well, yeah, it's well, in that case, and he turns toward Valtteri and Remy said, "Well, all right. So if you want to know how it works."
She's like upsetly crossing her arms over her chest.
You just need to tap on one of the entries to have it expand, and you're gonna have all of the detail of the quest, whomever gave it to you. And we have actually added a few features. If you tap here and here, you can see additional information that was given. We've started adding pictures because apparently a lot of people are having problems with just explanations. Can you imagine that?
Remy just stares at him.
Could you?
So by tapping here and here, you can have more information. If the quest has already been chosen by someone else, their name is going to appear at the bottom of it. But actually, and he just taps on the quest itself and it folds back. The name can be seen when there are people already taking that quest from there, and he points toward another one, which Valtteri makes your stomach turn itself on itself, because he points toward one and you see core written on it.
Mm-hmm.
So like this one, he's been very busy. But yeah, so you can see the name is there, and that's actually very impressive. That's a really big creature he's hunting. So, and the color coding, well, the color depends on whomever touches it. And he gestured toward you touching the board. Is Valtteri? Well,
Touch the board?
see, when you touch the quests, well, actually, which one were you touching? Did you touch the one where the core's name is, or you were touching just another one?
Another one.
Another. So you touch one and the color was green, but when you touch it, it turns yellow. See, we've actually coded this to go into the personal information that we've gathered from you. When it's yellow, it means it's dangerous for you. You might actually be in danger if you take it. If it's red, we think you're gonna die.
Maybe just kind of like stares
looking
up
at all the red ones, like.
Which one did I touch?
It was one to go hunt a creature very near the elven borders. It's apparently there is a nest of giant spider, and someone wants to have webbing taken from it.
Okay. She would have
What do
been
you
more
say,
upset
chums?
if it was like something like go pick herbs and it would have turned yellow for her. Okay.
Maybe just
And-
minor allusions to the Umbral Hulk quest, remembering that it was red when they touched it.
So it's based on what what information we have on you. We've recorded that you, and he points toward you, audience, and you, and points toward you, Remy, and two others are traveling together. If you make this official, the quest board is going to take it under consideration when you tap on a quest. Meaning this one, and he points to you, Valtteri, if you choose this one, because we haven't associated with you with anyone, it's going to show if you go alone what will happen. But if you band your group, make it official under this tab, and he taps on another one that's gray in the right corner, you see it expand, and you see a lot of groups of people. Of course, audience, one draws your attention immediately, that is Corrivant and Amiali. They always travel together. They came in together and they left together.
Well, they're brother and sister. Well, half brother and half sister.
All right. Well, we have those also in our world. Bit rare, but still we have them. So, all right. So it will take that into consideration, and of course, we can only take what we know into consideration. If you have magical object that you're keeping from us, the board might be slightly off in its evaluation.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Once you completed one, and he taps on one, which is the one that was gray from Amiali, you can always come back here yourself and claim it as it is finished. Usually those you needed to get whatever you were after to will have sent the information that everything is complete. So once you tap on it, it will turn gray and it'll stay there for maybe a day or two and then it will disappear. You know, we think that it's always healthy for young adventurers to be able to say, hey, we managed this one! It actually happened 2 days ago. So,
Well, thank you for the explanation. I'm sure these two found it most helpful.
Yeah.
I hope so. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid. I spend most of my time in one of the shop. We use a lot of crystals. It's actually one of my expertise.
Very cool.
Remy's eyes light up like a Christmas tree.
I'm whispering to audience, maybe we could ask him about the crystals we found in the mine.
You mean the metal?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I think we'll just turn those into the people that wanted it, and they can probably say like we shouldn't be probably giving out. I mean, it's all one.
I didn't mean like giving out, just like getting more information about it. Just for our own curiosity.
I mean, I'm sure we can get all the information. I'm sure the guard will look into it, and it might just take a little bit. I'd rather give it to the source that was required to.
Okay.
I'd say Anvara and Fisher, after having handed in your things, where would you go?
Probably try to find the others, I guess. And Andre, I think you might be muted.
Go up to the westward.
All right. So probably just as you see your new friend leave, you see Fisher and Anvara climbing up the stairs. You cross path with your turtle friend. Oh, I don't know why I keep saying turtle. Your turtle friend, Corinth, and he just, especially you, Fisher, he recognized you. Anvara, he didn't recognize you much, but he did give a nod. From the laugh that you've heard while you were there, you did gather that he was a very friendly fellow. And Fisher, well, he's actually had a moment where he was able to interact with you. Brief, but still. Mm-hmm. So, when you entered, you just saw him. Still alive!
Give a wave back.
And he goes back to his slightly slimy, gelatinous drink of something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alright, yeah, head up to the board.
And you arrive as you see audience with a very satisfied look on his face, Valtteri with a slightly annoyed look on his face, and Remy with sparkle in his eyes.
Did you guys figure out how to work this thing yet?
Yes, it was apparently quite simple.
Yeah.
That's not surprising. That was an interesting day for us. Did you find where we're supposed to drop this stuff off?
Has a man left the board yet? Is it ours?
He's slowly climbing his way down the stairs toward the first floor.
And
Okay.
Ramey's just gonna come up and like see if he can just do it himself.
All right.
Because he didn't have an issue when he started navigating this the first time, so.
No, you actually understood the principle of it very easily, and with this information, it sort of covers any blanks that you might have had. So what are you looking
Starts
for?
going. So like probably, if not search terms, Harkonite or Dragonite, probably like curious metal,
All right.
or
So-
similar search terms.
All right. Make a... Well, since you're using your eyes, I'd say perception.
Yeah, that's about what you'd expect. 17.
Yeah, that's right. It's your double double proficiency. All right. So you look at this for a while. You just tap a few places, and eventually you do find a quest that, when enlarged, does actually say in his header, Fisher, if you read this, report to me.
Well, there's our answer.
Right, yeah, read it over his shoulder.
It's not hard to read over Ramey's
I
shoulder.
was about
That's
to
fair,
say he's
yeah.
the smallest in the group, like.
So you see him just, toon, toon, toon. Fisher, if you read this, come to me.
Who does it say it's from?
Dial.
Does it say where he is?
That you can see, no. But Remy, you have heard how to get more information, so you just tap on a different place, and you see a little bit more information. You need to get to the unloading area for the for all material. So basically, where you were before. He is there, and you actually have a picture of Dial. It's a dwarf, which looks a bit rough. Just looking at it, and then you remember his voice, and yeah, the picture fits.
Well,
if
there's our answer.
Yeah, Ramey's just gonna point it out. It's like,
There's
I wanna
even a small thing flashing. So Remy, you tap on it, and it's written "Collect reward."
Before we would go, I would kind of stop the group and like ask. So the man before showed us that we can actually sign ourselves as a group. Maybe we should do that quickly, or
Why don't we turn this in, and then it's getting late, right?
it is late.
In every
Well, I was-
single.
Yeah.
in every single
Um,
in every single sense of the word,
Yeah.
in that we did spend the entire day traveling.
Yeah.
We spent
Why
the
don't we
entire
turn
day
this in?
traveling. We are half an hour above our time, and
Yeah.
shops are currently being closed because it is most likely around 7 to 8 p.m. where you are.
Why don't we turn this in, split up or divvy out everything, and then meet back here in the morning,
Take a power
and
nap.
we can go over what we're doing next.
Sounds good. I will say, I'm probably going to, I can take my cut of the morning. I'm going to hang out here. I'm meeting a guy here later, and also I want to look at some things on the board.
Okay.
Translation: he's practicing with the board.
Mhm.
No, there are actually things I want to look at.
Not mutually exclusive.
If there's a way to just add yourself to some other person's group without them knowing.
Wait, what? I would never. No.
It's like, oh look, this group is going on a dragon killing quest.
I'm not gonna
Hop
stalk.
in there.
I would never stalk people. Jesus. But accusations.
All right. So, audience, you remain
Sure.
behind while Anvara, Valtteri, Remy, and Fisher go collect the reward for the minerals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
that'd be about it.
Does
Wouldn't
any
we-
of you absolutely need to stop right now, or do we finish this and then stop?
I
I
I don't.
don't.
I mean, this part should be easy
Yeah.
to finish, and then
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
say
Yeah,
we went
I'm
to
good.
bed.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd say go do their part, and then I can do my part next time, because mine might, like, take a little... I don't know how long mine... Because then mine will kind of flow into, like, maybe me and the guy. I'd say just go have them collect the reward, and we'll do my part next time, or whatever.
Okay. All right. So you go back to where you were and go back into this large area, and with the four of you, eventually it's not hard finding someone, especially since now a lot of people are starting to leave. It's getting late, but you do manage to catch this older dwarf, not elderly, but older, and he is currently in the process of evaluating mineral. You just look at him, and he's not paying attention to you right now, and he's looking at a piece of metal, and he's just rubbing his beard slowly. You hear him mumbling a bit.
You got a moment?
He doesn't look in your direction. Depends on what.
We're looking for Dial.
Yeah, that's me. Why? What do you want with me? He turns his head and... Oh, you're the one... Oh, yeah. So... Oh, yeah, I guess you want the reward. So it's 25... No, that's right. You use metals. Alright. Hold on. He takes a large... Well, no, not large, but he takes a small box, maybe the size of a large pouch, and places it on the table. Alright, so this would be for that, and you also said you wanted to bring some, didn't you?
I'll sling the sack off my shoulder.
Oh, that's very interesting. Opens-
Here's some. There should still be some more on the cart.
Oh,
Looks
alright.
like-
Well, I also did give you one of my watermelon... Because I took two water... I would have given you one of my watermelon-sized pieces before you left.
Okay.
Fisher.
Okay.
Oh, that's very interesting. So that there's more on your cart. Alright, I'll ask one of the wardens to go there. Alright, he takes a piece and... Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in your world so far. That's very interesting. He takes an object you don't recognize, size of a coin, had a bit of a crystal at the center, and place it on top of it and turns it a bit. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. The whole bag is like this?
For the most part, yeah.
Interesting. You hear him mumble a few words, and you see him trace shapes in the air. And... Oh, that's very interesting. And you say there's more in the cart. Okay. What kind of reward do you want for them? Same thing? Metals? I mean gold?
Yeah, that'll work. And just, I guess, a quick rundown of what it is specifically.
Well, I don't know everything there is about this. The researchers most likely have a lot of information about it. But basically, it's what happens when a dragon reaches the end of its life naturally. Or rather, what we perceive to be the end of their life. But to get that, you have to have dragons which are really, really old, and haven't seen any dragons that size on your world. For some reason, they all disappeared. Yeah, from your perspective, it's maybe a few thousand years ago. But yeah, we don't know why. A lot of those giant dragons, they just stop appearing, and those dragon that you have on your world right now started to become the standard. They're a lot less impressive than what we used to have. I'm gonna tell you that. But it's basically what happens when they reach the natural end of their life cycle at that size. It's some people say that it's not actually the end of their life, and some people say it is. But basically, that's it.
Yeah, I'll do some more reading on my own.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that if you go to the libraries, you're gonna be able to find something. There's one student who's been actually, she's been researching quite a lot. A bit hard to miss her if you spend a lot of time there. Little woman.
What's her name?
Theag. Blonde woman. She usually presents herself as Theag Dren. Fisher, you actually met her once.
Yes, I just got to that page. That was the one that did some of the helped with some of the researching me, right?
Yes, she's the one that gave you the result. And actually, Valtteri, you have met her also.
What?
Make an intelligence roll.
Yeah, I can't remember meeting someone like that.
You never asked her name, but
is a 17 enough? I don't know.
the name doesn't ring a bell. But the short description, a blonde girl that knows a lot, feels like the person who removed the gayest from you.
Oh, that girl. Okay.
Not to be confused with the gayness, which is still there.
Yes.
All right. That's actually a good joke.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can find her.
I think I do as well.
So yes, you wanted gold for this. Here, hold on. Well, pretty much the same thing. And he takes another box about the same size and just adds it to this. Well, I think this should cover it. Four of you, yeah, it might be interesting. So it's for the contract, 500 gold, and for the mineral that you gave, another 500 gold.
Oh, baby.
I'm gonna leave it to you to separate this among yourselves.
Flush with
Sounds
cash.
good.
Raimi just looks at his flabby arms. It's like he's not going to be able to carry this to his disappointment.
And Remy, you've actually seen that much gold because, of your past, some people are ready to pay a lot of gold for what you were doing. But you've never actually owned that.
Yeah, that's he's processing that. He's seen a lot of money change hands, or change carts and wagons in some cases. But
So I'm gonna leave you to separate this among yourselves. Guessing you can carry that around.
We'll manage.
All right. Anything else?
you know
Not
what?
really.
Just for fun, Raimi is just going to go ahead and major image that fun scene with the prison dwarves.
Do you
Show him
have
something.
major image?
Show him something. No. Excuse me. Not silent image. but
Okay,
also-
I was like, isn't that like a fourth?
it's a third level spell, but
Okay.
yeah, silent, like feeling like you might appreciate a funny image. just silent images the scene
Okay. Well, he looks
just for fun.
he looks at the illusion. Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that every time. Thanks for sharing. Here. He takes something beside him and he just hands it to you. It's a gem.
His eyes sparkle up.
Well then, I guess until next time. Yeah, if you need us, let us know.
Don't worry. Everything will be on the quest board if I need more. So, but I'll keep you in mind. You've given me access to this. Pretty sure the mages are going to be very pleased with that. A lot of things you can do for magic with magic copper.
Mm-hmm.
Conducts electricity really well.
Raimi gives an enthusiastic nod.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll leave.
All right. Anvara, is there anything you'd like to say to add to this? You've been this most silent one.
Is it really not characteristic of Anvara to not speak much?
I know, I just want to give you a chance to say or do something if you want to. Sometimes events can pick up and you just, I wanted to do this. Just in case, I'm giving you the chance.
No, I don't think Anvara has anything to add to this. She's just gonna take her cut and do her own thing until next time.
So that should be 260 gold each.
With the 300,
Should we just add it now? I mean,
you can.
okay.
I'm pretty sure that Fisher is going to be very honest about this and not change his mind.
No, y'all get 10 and then
It's like, I'm sorry, this is the most they could give us.
All right, guys, I'm about
Yeah.
I'm about halfway to full plate. No.
yeah, I'm not great at bartering. This
So,
is the best I could do.
Is that what you said, Fisher? 260 gold?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Valtteri so far only has lived from the money you start with.
You did a lot of things. You negotiated a contract, you brought back mineral, you
Yeah.
handed in a quest.
I mean, so far, I think almost only audience was the one who tried to look for money. Oh boy.
and your level are slowly increasing. Yes, this does mean that when we pick up next time, you will all be level 4.
Oh.
No level.
Don't all
Fine.
cheer at once.
Finally, some relief.
Remy, I don't think you understand how long I have been level 3.
Same.
Because for Audience and Valtteri, they've been there since the first group, and this group changed twice before we got here, and every time I had to take at least 1 or 2 episodes to make sure that everyone was in the right place to keep on going. But unfortunately, the one that came before you didn't stay. So it was a 3 or 4 episode that were lengthened for nothing. And they had to live through this.
Jesus.
So they've been waiting for this level for a very long time.
I joined on episode 19. We are now on 40.
Yeah.
And we've been level 3 since episode what?
No,
Like 14? 13? I don't even
Something
know.
like that.
I think we were level 3 when Fisher came along with us.
Yeah, we were.
You just
So-
gained a level.
Yeah, so 18. Episode 18. So we've been level 3 for
Too long.
22 episodes?
22 episodes about. Do you do that by weeks? You guys can figure out the math.
4.5 months. 3.5 months? 4.5 months?
It's close to that.
Jesus.
Yep. So we have been waiting to finally get that level up. Because I remember we once did like a one-shot where our
Where we were
characters...
5th level. Yeah.
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 Ah, the power.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You are getting there. And this is also why I gave you a lot of money, because you most likely are going to want to start buying potions, try to look at having better equipment, enchantments. Now things starts to cost a lot more and more and more.
Nah, I'm just saving up for full plate. I'm having out.
All right, so we're gonna end this episode on this here. Apparently, we're gonna start with what audience wanted to do on this board, and also a few other things. Mainly
Yes,
because not everyone in the group, but some of the players in the group have actually managed to awaken their object. And so there is also going to be the reveal of that next session.
All right.
And audience will become a stalker, but as he says, it just gets a few...
Audience has a
impressions.
lot of plans for next session.
I
Audience.
can be
Audience
your
is gonna look at
Crestboard
boards.
stalker.
Audience is gonna see if Temptress wants to meet to tell her about some dragon stuff.
Yeah.
I was hoping
Audience
you
got
forgot about
plans.
So basically, audience has just learned about Facebook to stalk people, and he is also someone who will actually physically stalk people. So
Whoa, she invited me.
Oh yes,
I was invited.
absolutely.
Sure.
It's like-
Remember,
it's like, why do you-
remember, tiefling have names which corresponds to things from them. Of course, she invited you. Of course.
Now I'm flush with cash, so you know nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
And in the next session, you will lose all of it.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you had an interesting time today. The episode was a bit slower, more roleplay, but interesting things happened. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support us, support the stream. The easiest way, by following us, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. And remember, if we reach 50 followers on Twitch, I can activate subscription. And we have started to talk about what we can give to people who subscribe. So there could be that. And you can also always support us financially. Well, me actually, because it's been a long time since I worked now. So you can support the stream financially by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, or also simply by spreading the word, because the more of you there are, the more of, well, you they'll be in the chat and possibly following us. That's always good. So, take care of yourselves, especially in those times right now, and stay healthy also. Be safe, and till next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao, night.